If you've quit meth, masturbation, weed 4 times, have you really quit it or failed to quit it 4 times? I want to bring attention to how people talk about the mental freedom of actually quitting versus what people say and quitting, which is really taking a break. So let's go for with masturbation. That's quite a popular one. When you think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm taking a break from porn, I'm trying to quit it, it's much different than the person who you approach who says, oh no, yeah, I don't really do that. I don't really watch porn. I don't really, masturbate. But they may in fact do it, but they just don't really do it often enough for them to think anything of it. The important part is that they don't think anything of it. You, for example, you've probably played football, right? You play it every now and then, maybe once a year, let's say. You wouldn't say that you play football, but you can play it, right? So if somebody asks you, oh yeah, how's your football getting along? And you're like, well, I don't really play football. It's the same kind of thing, right? It's knowing your identity, and it's not something that you think about. Because you don't think about it, I'm picking football even though it's a very popular sport, just because I don't play it, but change it to whatever sport you have. But because you don't play it and you're not interested in it, it doesn't occupy any space in your mind. And this actually goes super deep in the rabbit hole. I want to talk about work, about studies, about anything. When you drop something, not an addiction, which, it's good to drop, but at work, are you quitting, right? Because quitting is not always good. If you're quitting porn, yeah, good. But if you're quitting some work or whatever that you're doing or an exercise, maybe it's not so good. But let me give you a little anecdote. I had an agency last year. My God, time flies. And in this agency, I was doing work, things didn't feel too right, and I wanted to give up. I wanted to give up and say to myself, I've tried it, it's not working out. I had spent 6 months without getting a client since I started. I get a client, and after all this hard work, and I'm doing the work for them that I practice for, and I do it successfully, I do it well. I bring them results and I bring them profits. I look at what I'm doing, the nature of my work, I look at my clients, and it's not what I thought it was. The next month, he endorsed me to other people, other contacts that he had, because I asked him, I gave him a reduced price so they could endorse me instead. I was like, yeah, sure, if your service is good. It was. So next month, I was already projecting for, I don't want to talk about it, but for a pretty good price, like a monthly price, income. So as I think more and more about it, and I think about the things that I'm trying out in my life, I don't want to do this anymore. And sometimes you quit because of multiple reasons. You quit because of fear. So if I quit before I got a client, it would have been because I didn't want to do the hard work, for example, and it just wasn't for me and I was lazy, which was the case for about 4 months. Or maybe it's because something like you're afraid of success. So let's say I quit, which I did before the projected month of, onboarding another 2-3 clients and having quite a lot of money coming in. Maybe I would quit before because of fear of success. Maybe. I quit nonetheless. However, when I quit, this is the crucial part. I felt total freedom. I felt like I was liberated off of a burden. I didn't want to do this, and I was keeping myself on it because of money, because of whatever. I thought, man, if my family knew the numbers that I am about to make here on my own, right, without actually talking to them about it, they'll be so proud, they'll be so, happy for me and all that stuff, and they would encourage me to keep going. But what do I want to do? One thing's for certain, not this. I don't feel good about it. I don't want to do it. Maybe it is fear of success that's stopping me from carrying on. Sometimes we are nervous at the things that we have to do. Maybe you love singing and you have to perform in front of a crowd and you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. But the contrast is, when you make the decision to do it or to not do it, you will feel or not feel regret. For example, you go there and you smash it out and you feel great about it afterwards. You don't do it and you think to yourself, I wish I did it. In my case here, it was, the first one. I did it, I quit, and I was like, damn, how great. I thank God I didn't do it. I didn't feel an ounce of regret in my body. And people only talk about the side of quitting of addictions and of the sort. I quit my my drug addiction abuse, I quit my porn, whatever, I quit this, I quit that, I quit sleeping around. But what about quitting in the terms of work and studying and things of the sort. People don't really talk about it with good eyes that it may be important to quit. In any case, in all of this, you ought to look at the freedom within and whether you are more free than you were before, whether you have made a choice that's going to provoke more love in your lifestyle and your day-to-day life than before. Everything that we don't do for money. We don't do for the success that is kind of programmed for everybody, though success is subjective. But rather we do it for love. So what kind of love do you have in your life? If you think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm trying to do this, but I'm just having a really bad time, whatever. Are you really free if you're trying to quit masturbating and all you can say is, oh yeah, I'm quitting pornography and all this stuff. Instead of saying, pornography, masturbation, nah, I don't really care about it. You may still do it once on a blue moon, right? Once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once every 5 months. But the point is, it's not part of your identity. It's like, I remember before I became religious, I was already trying to quit alcohol. I didn't fuck with it. So somebody was like, oh, we would go to the pub with the friends, etc. They'd be like, yo, Lazarus, do you want a drink? And I'd say, nah, I don't drink. Just like that, right? And to friends that saw me drink, the month prior to that, they're like, you don't drink? What, are you taking a break? And I say, nah, I don't drink, right? And I adopted this into my identity. If you are very firm or stern about things like that, it will make it easier for you because a lot of the time, expectations drive us. If you tell people that you're taking a break, they may not take you seriously. If you say to them that you don't do it, first things first, of course they will support you, and if they don't, they're bad friends. Cut them out. But yeah, they will support you, and then, they'll be a bit thrown off, maybe by your sudden change. But be that way. Nah guys, sorry, I don't watch anime no more. I don't watch anime. Not even anymore, I don't watch anime. What, but you've watched about 1,000, Lazarus? Yeah, I don't watch anime. Not the case for me. I still watch anime. I love anime. But not that much, to be honest. This type of self-confidence and, self-identity into saying, it's not something that I do anymore, will also open the door of making it easier for you to not repeat that action. If you say, I don't masturbate, you may have the urge of doing it, and then you look at yourself and be like, wait, but this is not something that I do, right? You may, for example, used to smoke weed. You find yourself one day tempted to, smoke some. You're out with friends and they're smoking a little bit, maybe. And then they pass it to you and you're like, oh, wait, that's not me anymore. I don't have to do this, right? And then you pass it back, nah, thanks, cool. Well, of course, try and avoid the surroundings where there is the action that you are avoiding. Because at first, it's not as easy as self-identify something else and then that's it, right? That's like saying, why are you sad? Just be happy. Oh, wow, groundbreaking. No, right? And you understand that. But nonetheless, something true enough is to be said about the power of self-identity and the way that you carry yourself, expectations, everything kind of comes together to help you make that change. Think about your life and think about the things that you're trying to quit, be it for addictions or bad habits, be it for business moves or just studies or things of the sort. And think about what could cause more love and think about whether you'd feel regret or relief. Question your motives for the business and studies part at all times. And then once you have some, decisions, speak to somebody about it. Not necessarily to ask for their opinion, but when we talk to others, we find out things about ourselves that we didn't know. So it always proves helpful. Join my Discord, strive to be 1% better every day, and much love. Quick reminder to fix your posture and take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose.